Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Today is a huge day in our podcast history. We have our first guest ever.
Hey, cue
What's
applause. I was hoping we would be like, bom, bam, bom, wham, bom, bom, wham, bom, bom, wham, bom, wham, and then Alec would walk out.
I just walk through the door, right?
Plans for the future. We're going to do that.
Next time, season 2.
Right.
And then we could say, what is your country's best dance move? And they have to give it to us.
Oh, well, you know
dang.
what?
Yeah, on the spot.
Wasn't
It's
ready for
perfect.
that. No.
I don't want to reveal where Alec is from, okay? But I know for a fact one of my favorite, his country is the best dancers, in my opinion. Okay, we'll reveal that coming soon. Listen up.
It's going to be in the title. So
Yeah, okay, well. Alrighty. But here we have our great friend, Alec Musgrave.
What's
okay,
up?
say your full name?
Yeah, it's not Musgrave though.
Oh, no?
Mulgrave. Yeah.
Mulgrave?
Yeah.
Then it's misspelled on our emails.
Oh dang.
How do you say what's up? Where you from?
Wapm.
Wapm.
Or
Wagwan.
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 See, that already
I've
gives it
heard
away.
before.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
never heard that.
Wagwan.
Never heard that.
No way. Well, I'm sure you've heard of that
Oh,
one before.
of course
yeah.
I have. Where are you from, sir?
Well, wildest guess, Jamaica. So
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Jamaica,
Nice.
Jamaica.
Nice.
Yeah.
As you said the word Jamaica, I already felt like a breeze.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I felt like chills.
I just automatically saw like a beach and a nice little resort, you know, like a pina colada,
Yeah.
some rum cream. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
And
then, go ahead.
how long did you grow up there? Like, was
So about like 2.5 years on and off.
Nice.
So yeah, I stayed with my grandparents out there. So
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
And when did you move to America? After 2 years old?
Yeah, I was about like 2.5, 3 years old. So yeah.
Did you go to visit frequently, or?
Yeah, so we used to go once a year back in the day, and then of course, you know, like our national airline went bankrupt, as a lot of things do in Jamaica.
What was the name of the national airline?
It was Air Jamaica, as simple as that. Yeah.
And what is there like a story behind this? Why did it go bankrupt?
I don't know the story, but like if you rode with them, it was like an amazing experience. And then champagne service, all that stuff. Of course, I couldn't enjoy champagne at like 5, 6, 7 years old, but they used to do all that, and everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, they had like $100 fares and stuff like that." And I was like, "Yeah, no wonder they went bankrupt, you know, because you're serving champagne and you know like at spirit rates." So you know.
I think that even Air Jamaica speaks to like the Jamaican people too. I mean, you're just giving.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
was our
giving
national
culture.
airline. That was our pride and everything. And so when they stopped flying, you know, it was kind of sad. And then, you know, you had to pay like 4 times the price to go back to Jamaica. So we just stopped going.
Oh, man.
Then when I went to college, I actually started to decide, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go back on my own. And so I figured out, you know, finally saved up some money, went back. And then ran that little school supply drive thing that we were talking about the other day. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So back in the day, me and my friend Andreina from Venezuela.
Oh wow.
Yeah, her and
That's how you
I.
speak Spanish.
Yeah.
You have a really good accent, by the way.
Oh, gracias.
So we'll have to bring you on for the Spanish podcast as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Sí, pues estoy listo.
Man, people got ready.
Ya tú
And,
sabes.
when I speak Spanish, I say English words.
I know, right? It's Spanglish, right?
Spanglish, right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but I'm sorry to trouble. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So me and
Adriana.
Andreina, we were in high school together actually. So she moved over to the States and everything, and had a really interesting story coming from Venezuela. Her dad actually got like kidnapped and everything. I don't know if I could say that on the podcast,
No,
but
of course you can say whatever you want.
got kidnapped twice actually.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
How do you
we
get
were.
kidnapped twice?
That's the thing. I'm just like it was wild. So the first time was of course before she came up to the States, I think, and then the second time was we were actually like in physics class, I remember, and she was like, something's not right, like I haven't heard back from my dad. And I was like, oh, I'm sure he's just, like busy, doing stuff. And then come to find out, like I guess a day or so later, he finally did reach back out to him and was just like, yeah, like I was kidnapped and this and that. And usually I don't know, it's Venezuela, man. So
Just
it's
get kidnapped.
yeah, it's a different world.
That is frightening.
For real.
It's I don't want to start a controversy with your friend, maybe if she's watching or anything, but
Yeah.
you know how they say in America is all like, well, honey, I'm going to go get cigarettes, and then the dad never comes back?
Yeah.
In Venezuela, what if it's all like, hey, I got kidnapped
Dad
for like
got
a
kidnapped.
week.
I know, right?
I got kidnapped to Vegas.
Good excuse not to call back, right? Yeah.
Not bad. No, but
Yeah.
I mean, no, this is a serious true story, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean,
kidnapped
for real.
twice.
And that was the thing. So that was the second time, was when we were in high school after I had already met her. So I was like, dang, you know, like, you went through all of that. And I remember she had included that in one of her college essays too, you know, because it's like everyone's, you know, here trying to find, you know, like, what's a good story, like, what's interesting about me. And for her, that was definitely like just like a winner right there. So she and I, we started up this little organization called Aiding the Carribean together. So ACT for short, with a little exclamation point, you know. I didn't want it to get confused with, you know, like the ACT test, which, you know, is just like
Gotcha.
totally boring. I never even actually took it myself. So
Oh, yeah.
still got into college somehow, right? But yeah, so we started up ACT, and we started collecting up school supplies. And, you know, it started off with, you know, like a tiny little bag of supplies. My first time I went back to Jamaica. And then every single year during college, because we started this up in high school, but every single year when I kind of started going back frequently during college, I would start bringing more and more. And then this past year, we shipped 2 of those, you know, like shipping barrels worth of like school supplies that, you know, like we collected from Holder and our trade partners and everything.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, made it all the way down to Jamaica, man.
And you're doing this on a yearly basis, how often do you do these?
Yeah, so during college, it was yearly until, you know, COVID happened. So yeah, that kind of threw a little wrench into everything. But that was the first year that we decided to go and actually ship the container, since I couldn't go physically myself. Right. So it worked out. And then this past year, I actually just got back about 2 weeks ago from Jamaica.
That's right.
And we changed it up a little bit this year. Yeah, fresh off the boat, literally,
Fresh right
you know. Changed it up this year because we went and collected up money instead of actual school supplies. And so got the money and the funds and everything, and then submitted that, or I guess they turned it into me. And then I went and bought like iPads and computers for the local schools.
Yes.
So easier to sneak in through security, you know?
Way better. Money, you don't have to ship it. You just take the money, buy it when you get there.
Exactly. Well, I bought it here in the
here?
States. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I flew to Texas to meet up with my mom. Ended up grabbing her to come to Jamaica with me. And bought them up, kind of hid them in my suitcase, and, you know, just did that.
Yeah, we'll edit that out, FA. It's for a good cause, guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, you know, they could have searched me if they wanted to.
No,
so.
yeah. And are you planning on continuing doing this? Is there any way people can maybe help you out, contact you, or do you have a website or anything?
Yeah, and, you know, that's funny. We were thinking about making a website, and that dream just never took off.
Okay.
I just always used to do, you know, word of mouth, make little flyers, and, you know, start up like a Cash App and this, you know, GoFundMe and everything. So maybe we should make a website, actually.
That'll be the next step, and we'll push it here whenever you let us know. We'll mention it. You know what I mean? 'Cause
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's what it's all about. And the name of this questionnaire, I guess we should have mentioned it. It's going to be the Earthlings questionnaire, because at the end of the day, yes, you are Jamaican, I'm Dominican. Mr. Worldwide over here, he's from America.
United States, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, but at the end of the day, we're Earthlings. We're all from the same planet, and we share this, and that's why we're trying to get to know, you know, where do we come from, and what are the things that make us. A lot of times we say, oh, that's the same but different. I think we should flip that up. We should say, hey, that's different but the same.
Exactly.
Because that's what mostly we are. We're mostly equal. It's just we do things a little different flavors.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, did I interrupt the act?
No, I mean that was pretty much it. So I'm just gonna keep on going.
But going back into the questionnaire, then one of my questions. And this is not a very serious question, but I was curious because different as you speak right now. I just said right. We say in Spanish. We say
buzzwords.
Este.
Yeah.
We have no que mira or like we have these like oh my god like you know what I mean? We have a little bit of different words that we use in Jamaica. Is there a word for or a sound?
That's a good question. I don't know.
No, you guys don't make like
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Jamaicans were, they're just very straightforward to the point. They'll talk way faster than I could follow them. So usually I don't hear or see anything. We kind of have a little thing where we call kissing our teeth. That's kind of just like, just like that. Cho,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cho. Does cho have a meaning? It's just
cho is just like man or what, or kind of just like it is kind of like a little filler.
Okay.
So yeah.
But usually it's like a sound. It's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's freaking cool. And what is your favorite food, like in overall in the planet? And what is your favorite Jamaican food? And it could be the same thing.
Yeah. So Jamaican food, y'all don't judge me, but I really like curry goat.
Curry goat.
Yeah. So goat, the animal, just curried, kind of like Indian style. So
I didn't expect that. That's like a very specific answer.
And
I like it.
Is that a typical food in Jamaica? Or
it is. Okay. Yeah. Because we're famous
Curry.
for like our jerk chicken, jerk pork, all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But we're also actually really big on curries. So like keep in mind, Jamaica was a British colony, and so when the English were coming and colonizing, they were also bringing spices and things like that from India, that side of the world.
Of course.
And so they brought that over. They brought tea over, so we have tea time and everything like that, and supper, just things like that. We've all mimicked off of the British, and then of course India too. So curry goat, yeah.
And what else did you?
Curry goat is
that was
goated.
actually curry goat, man. I want to try it.
Yeah.
Is it spicy?
You can make it spicy. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and the curry itself, like even at home, I can show you the 2 bottles I have. It's a powder. So, I have like the regular one, and then I have the one with the red lid. That's the spicy one.
Hey.
So,
And to piggybacking on what you mentioned about the British influence, because I was going to ask you if you guys were a British colony. I knew that. But when did you guys fight for your independence? Did you guys how'd that go? Was there a dictatorship afterwards or what?
So yeah, that's a good question. So I know Jamaica gained independence in 1962. So fairly recent, compared to, I guess like America was what 1776. Yeah.
Whoa. I have to know that. I'm like the American one here, so I got. Right. I'm glad I got that.
When was the Jamaican independence?
So 1962.
1962.
Wow. Yeah.
So they gave,
very recent.
Recent.
Yeah.
And that was from Great Britain, UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that was so recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of countries. I mean, you'd be surprised. I know a lot of the times we're even for example, just so focused on, like, oh, America, we've had independence for, the longest time. But a lot of these other countries, are recently getting independence or breaking free from, like the British Commonwealth and things like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Like the Dominican Revolution was 1965. And
there
was right after. So the 60s was on Southern America.
Yeah, kind of tough.
Yeah, moving around.
Yeah.
So did you guys go straight from that into a democracy, or was there a period of dictatorship? Was there any?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we in Jamaica are a parliamentary government. Yeah. So, and it's basically 2 parties, so one will rule, kind of like how we have the Democrats and the Republicans over here.
Right.
So over there they have the JLP, which is the Jamaican Labor Party.
Yeah.
And then the PNP, which is People's National Party. I don't really know like where they kind of fall and sit, but I know PNP seems like it's a little bit more towards like the Republican side of things.
Okay,
and then, right. Yeah. And then JLP is more like towards like the people, the labor, the like the working class.
Yeah, exactly,
right. Right.
The future.
Yeah.
The progress, as some would say.
Yeah.
You guys have a proportional voting system?
Proportional
like if you get like 1% of the vote, do you get like 1% of the seats or anything like that?
I'll be honest, I have no clue.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I know there's parliament and then they have the 2 parties. And what I do know though is that at certain points in the year, if or I guess whenever election time comes up, you really actually can't wear certain colors like green, orange, or red.
Really?
Because then you'll be like associated with that political party. And it depends on like which neighborhood you're in or what part of the or what parish or state that you're in. They could have some pretty serious repercussions for that.
Wow, that's interesting. And you guys have a prime minister or
yeah,
president?
Yeah, Andrew Holness. Yeah,
Okay.
or at least I think he's still the prime minister right now. Yeah, I call him Andrew Holiness just because.
Andrew Holiness.
I'm like holiness,
Easier.
same difference, you know.
Is he like a very how do you say when it's a strong man? Is he like a strong man? Because I know that was going around a little bit in South America, Caribbean, like the strong man type. Is he like that, or is he more?
I don't think he's kind of like how it was in like Latin America. But I do know, like, for example, whenever I think it was Prince Will and Kate, of course, before the Queen's passing,
Right.
you know, he came, or they came to Jamaica actually, and he was just like, yeah, you know, we're moving forward, like, you know, straight up in front of them, because, you know, they used to be a British colony. So I guess as far as the strong arm side of that, you know, he's just like, hey, you know, like, we're standing independent as a people ourselves, and so, you know, we're kind of doing our own thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, because, you know, every time an empire can take, they'll take, as we can see by Russia.
Yeah, right.
And other, I mean, you know, that's like a direct example. But anyway.
Yeah.
Now, piggybacking on like the parliament system, because that's a different system than we have here. I mean, it is same as, I think, UK. They use like a parliament.
Yeah, most democracies other than us have parliamentary
yeah?
systems. Yeah, I think parliamentary system makes more sense. I don't know why we don't do it, but
Yeah. They still have like the queen, or I guess now the king, as their head. And technically, I guess that's how the Commonwealth works, because the Commonwealth of countries are like former British countries like Jamaica that still recognize the crown. And so Jamaica, I need to triple check, because I think Jamaica is still considered as part of the Commonwealth, even though, of course, we have our own government like a lot of the other, you know, freed countries. Right. But really being in the Commonwealth is just kind of like a club or some sort of association where it's just like you get benefits from being within the Commonwealth, just like I guess like the UN and other things. So
I was going to ask, piggybacking on that, if there was something from Jamaica, a trait, a routine, a ritual, or all of the above, like that you wanted to share with the world that you wish that the rest of the world did or was adopting or moving towards, what would that be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is there anything culture-wise? You know, it could be dancing. It could, you know what I mean? Because I would say
smoking weed all the time.
or it could be the parliament system.
Yeah, there's a lot. I will say, like, from my last time going, the hospitality, you know, at the resorts and things like that, they were just really welcoming. And I know it never used to always be that way, because I guess now that, you know, COVID has, you know, come through and the country's reopened and everyone's trying to come back and, you know, have a good time and relax, have a, you know, just vacation, things like that.
Right.
I think they were also happy to have people coming back, and so that's really changed the attitude of people, and so they're a lot more hospitable coming from that.
You know, every Jamaican person I've met has been very hospitable, very friendly. You being at the peak, let me
thanks.
tell you, all right? You take the cake. But, and I also met a lot of, I think people from islands are very much like that. I think Dominicans are a little bit like that. Why do you think the Jamaicans are so hospitable? Would you consider Jamaican people happy as a whole? Oh, yeah. And what do you think makes you happy?
Yeah, that's a good question. Jamaica is really famous for a lot of things. You know, you got Bob Marley, you've got bobsledding, even though we don't have snow. That's an interesting one. We have a jerk chicken, just things like that. And so I think there's a lot of things that just really make Jamaica, you know, unique and special, that it just separates us from a lot of people. And so, like I said, the hospitality, I think, is really just one of the biggest things, because we're an island, so we're kind of isolated from a lot of what's going on in the outside world. You see it on the news, yeah, but you're still on an island, so you're surrounded by all bodies of water. Right. And so whenever, I guess, people come to the country, we want to show off, show out. And I think that's part of what, you know, emphasizes that hospitality and pushing that vibe onto other people, especially visitors that come to visit the island, vacation, chill out.
You're proud of the beauty of the island, the beauty of the people.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times, because yes, we're saying we're happy people. I notice sometimes people in DR, they're happy people, and they have so little. But with what they have, they're happy with it. It lasts. They make it last. Everything lasts longer, you know.
That's true. Yeah. And I will say, you know, to that point, less is more really at that point, because going over there, even going to my grandparents' house, they're, on the not so wealthy side of the island. And yet you still see people want to come together, have a good time, they're still able to make do with what they have. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Jamaican people are very awesome. I just did a trip to Colombia and then Peru.
Oh, yeah.
And I met the guy sitting next to me on the airplane ride was Jamaican.
Oh, yeah. You did tell me
Shout out to
that,
Andre if you're watching.
What's up, Andre?
Yeah, super cool, dude. And we went out and had a fun time. And yeah, it's so true. Like even in Colombia too, like they have less, possessions and stuff. But man, they are happy. They're just like living in the moment, just having a great time. It's really special. Cool place. Yeah, I got to go to Jamaica at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely
hit
on
me
the
up,
list,
man.
for sure.
Mandatory.
Yeah, and to your point too, Dylan, having that less is more attitude, it really makes you appreciate like what you have here in the U.S. And so I'm able to kind of come from both sides, and so the haves and the have-nots, and okay, here we have AC, we have a little bit more money, things like that. Down there, it's just like, okay, money's a little bit thinner. There is no AC. You adjust to a completely different lifestyle over there. And really, at the end of the day, it makes me grateful for, being here, having an opportunity to work a job, make my own money, be able to, live in an apartment comfortably and, not have to worry about where the next dollar is coming from,
Hey, and piggybacking on that you said there's no AC and stuff. I know me and Dylan had this discussion one time. How many times in a row can you flush in Jamaica?
How many times?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let me give you a example. Because the thing is, in DR, you cannot. If you flush once, you have to wait a good 10 to 15
to recharge
minutes for it to recharge. It's not here, where some places in buildings.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I made a TikTok out of that clip that you did, and when someone commented, they were like, "Same here in America." I was like, no, you can just flush again. What are you talking about? Where are you at in America where you can't flush twice? Like,
Exactly. You have to go to a well, put water in the toilet.
Oh, so speaking of that, that's low-key what I had to do back in Jamaica. So we do have, I guess the little knob where you whoosh, and it'll flush and, recharge, but you can't have both toilets flushing at the same time. You can't both take showers at the same time if you have two bathrooms.
Oh, no.
And it's not heated water like we have the luxury of having over here. But on the toilet, though, I'm just usually used to catching water while I'm showering, conserving the water, and then just tossing it into the toilet, conservingly to flush the toilet. So
very cool, conservative. I mean, it depends on your point of view, but I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's
in a
different.
Way, it's awesome.
I
wish we had Jamaica had. It's awesome your way of like looking at it. Oh yeah, man, I'm just being conservative. I'm doing, but I wish Jamaica, the whole world, moved on, and that's why I tell Dylan, America's the tip of the spear. We're not perfect, but it's like you have flushable toilets. Everybody has AC. The homeless people have a place to go eat if they need to. The homeless people have a place to go die in DR. It's on the street. I know it's sad, but I mean, we don't have a homeless crisis. We have a dead people crisis, maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, the people in DR are very hospitable, just like in Jamaica. So that's why you don't see that many. Now, to a more positive note. Sorry, 180.
Right.
So here, or maybe a related note, here we have Walmart.
Yeah.
Here we have... Locally, we have Fred Meyer's, but Walmart in America is like the store you can go to 24 hours, get whatever you need.
Yeah, everyone knows it.
Super Center. You know what I mean? In DR, there's one called La Sirena, the mermaid.
Okay. Oh,
What is it? Yeah. What is it in Jamaica? Do you guys have like a huge store that's well known everywhere? Is it a family?
I'm trying to think. A huge store. I mean, locally we have National, which is just a grocery store, grocery outlet that people go, and it's owned by the Chinese. That's a whole other story. But
no way. It's called National.
Yeah, National.
It's spelled as National.
Right.
And it's owned by Chinese people.
Yeah. So a lot of things. It's kind of ironic. Like our furniture stores are like Quartz, for example. Those are all owned by Indian people. Oh, wow. So these people, they'll come from those countries like India and China, and either they have an in of having family that are Jamaican, or they just come and know, hey, this is some of the this is what we can get out of coming to Jamaica. So the Chinese, for example, they come and they own all the grocery stores, all the supermarkets. Yeah. Wow. And then they also build all of our highways. Oh. Which is ironic. Okay. Because Jamaica is known for a lot of corruption. So, you know, if you leave it to like the Jamaican government and things like that, not to get on the political side, but you know, the money will be spent and then you'll never see anything done after that. So they, I guess, outsource the Chinese to come and build our highway. So now our first toll road in the island is built by the Chinese, and there's a series of tolls now. So
that money's going.
Yeah, they're nice roads though.
Conspiratorial.
Yeah, they're nicer than some of the roads here in Portland, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice and smooth and everything. Yeah.
Dominican Republic probably still got wells in the street. Like
just a couple, you know, just swerving, you know.
So, I guess let me rephrase that question. Is there a Jamaican store? Is there like a Jamaican owned store where like family owned Jamaicans and stuff like that? Where
yeah, it actually. One of my family friends, they own a hardware store. I'll leave their name off the record, but they're cool. They're a really cool family. They live in the capital, Kingston.
Oh, I thought you were gonna name the store.
No, well, I think I could name the store.
Let us, if you wanted to take it out, let us know.
Yeah, so it's called High Qual. I'll just leave their names out of it, but yeah, the store name is High Qual, and they own a branch of that across the country. And I was just talking to the one of the founders and owners. He's kind of my uncle-ish, you know, one of my mom's good friends back home. Nice. So he and his wife, my aunt, so to say, they both started it up, you know, when they saw a need as far as, you know, like not really hardware, but, you know, like glass and other things that you could use for your home.
Oh, everybody needs that.
Right, exactly. Start up a whole company. They're being used and, you know, not outsourced, but they're providing materials for, you know, resorts, houses, homes, apartments, a lot of things that's keeping them busy. They have shipments coming in from China, Belgium, all over the place.
Provide parts for a holder or something, or
I know,
send stuff in.
For our next project in Jamaica, hey, you know, I'll know them. So yeah, they have their own branch across the island, or I think 3 branches across the island. They're looking to expand. I was just talking to my uncle about that, and then so. That's like truly Jamaican owned, Jamaican brand out there. High Qual.
Good product. # not sponsored, and we're still pushing the product. High Qual.
# truly Jamaican.
Truly Jamaican.
Yeah, man.
So like it came out so Jamaican, I had to say it like that.
Yeah, it just flows out, right?
It just flows naturally. I apologize for anybody that was offended by that. What is a famous show or movie in Jamaica?
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. So multiple. It's a great movie.
Really?
Yeah.
And people like nobody was, because you know in America now somebody does a movie about Dominicans, all Dominicans are offended. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I mean no, actually, the Heights came out and we were real happy about it. But people are very easy to get offended, and no one Jamaica, they love it. Cool Runnings.
Yeah, they love Cool Runnings. I think there's a few chains out there called Cool Runnings too. Patty places, you know, we're famous for little empanada looking patties. And I guess to your point, talking about roads and everything earlier, and bobsleds, because, you know, it's kind of like all together in one. They practiced and also used one of the roads that my uncle kind of lives on, or close to where he lives on, to practice for the bobsledding. So they'll, you know, practice the downhill, you know, with their wheels and, you know, like little makeshift bobsleds, you know, because we don't have snow in Jamaica.
And do they like go somewhere with snow and ice to practice for real, or they just do all with wheels? I think they just
do a lot of the practicing there in Jamaica because, like I said, we don't
crazy.
have snow, and Jamaicans are really anti-cold.
Yeah. How you doing? I'm cold.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They come up here, like temperatures outside, they'd be freezing to death.
Yeah,
literally.
That's me too, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel cold here?
Sometimes I do. Like, I just went to Alabama, got back this morning, and literally it was freezing cold over there.
I know.
Hotel was cold. Outside was cold. Everything was cold. But I mean, that's just me naturally, because I guess I'm just a higher temperature, just like a lot of Jamaicans. So yeah,
you got used to that.
Warm blooded.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's too warm.
They should remake Cool Runnings with Usain Bolt and like Johan Blake.
So cool.
Undefeated, dude.
Yeah.
The coolest of running.
Is there something? Is there just like a culture of sprinters there, or how did that happen? And
I mean, I think really, and funny you mentioned that. One of my great uncles, I guess, down on my grandma's side, or not even great uncle, just grand uncle, however you say, used to be a runner too, and so I guess runs in the island, like literally runs in the island. But Usain Bolt, I guess, was one of the first to make it famous. And, you know, like all of his medals that he's won throughout the Olympics and all those other competitions has been big. Us being here in Oregon, I don't know if you guys had the chance to go down to Eugene for the track and athletics.
No, I haven't gone down there.
I've been to Eugene.
I've been to I've been to the Nike World headquarters. It's right.
Oh yeah,
right here.
That's right down the road. You're actually closer to it than me. So
yeah, it's super close. But sorry, wait, about Eugene. Sorry.
Yeah. So unless if you guys watched it on the news, like I think this was actually the first one to happen in the U.S. and it happened to be here in Eugene because you know Hayward Field, I think it is, has a lot of history with track and field. Anywho, going down there were a lot of Jamaicans running too. So, you know, like they all have like this big culture about promoting, you know, running, track and field, things like that.
That's
Usain
awesome.
Bolt, of course, is like the founding father of that, you know, and, you know, just living out that dream, I guess. So Jamaicans are just naturally fast. Saw a few world records being broken there too. So
and Usain Bolt seems like a nice guy. Like he's funny in the commercials that he does and everything too.
Yeah.
And now that we mentioned Usain Bolt, what would you say is the Mount Rushmore for Jamaica? If Jamaica were to make a Mount Rushmore, they have to start making it. What are the 4 people you would say would be on there?
Marcus Garvey, which is, you know, just back in, you know, like civil rights times, you know, that's always a really important figurehead, a really important name to know. Usain,
you gotta
of
put
course.
him up. The flag up.
Right. Bob Marley, because on the musical side, you know.
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
Robert Marley, as the French call him.
So Bob, and then, you know, he has, I'm trying to think of the 4th person, unless if you guys have somebody in mind. I'm trying to think who's a famous Jamaican.
It's a good trifecta.
It doesn't have to be a famous person. It could just be a person like locally famous, you know, historically famous.
And Alec.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all don't want my face etched into no mountain.
Bro, it's a great smile. Be like,
with these big, huge buck teeth.
Who was the first? I don't know if this is like a big deal because everybody here. No, George Washington. Who was the first prime minister?
Oh, I don't know actually.
No? Okay.
I feel like I should know that. I'm surprised I even know this much. So
who was the first Jamaican? We'll find out.
Yeah. Etch that out of the.
Yeah, well, that didn't have.
No, but since we mentioned the flag, is there a meaning behind the flag? Do you know what the colors mean? Or,
yeah. So, have you actually seen the flag?
I do.
Have you actually seen the flag?
It's like the black X with a green background, right? And then it's got something else. So maybe like a yellow on there. It's like yellow, black, and green, right?
So yellow, black, and green are the colors. Yes. The X is yellow.
Oh, my bad.
Yes.
Okay.
But no, you got the colors right.
It was like an X.
Yeah. And so they do have like different meanings. If I remember and recall, green is supposed to be for the lush, you know, nature and natural habitat of Jamaica. It's a very, very beautiful, very green island. Yes. And, you know, I like how it's usually preserved pretty well, even with all the construction that's going on, you know, in the touristy areas. Very green. Love it so much, especially when you're driving, you know, like in deep country, deep through the mountains. It's just green everywhere, all year round.
Nice.
Then yellow is supposed to be, I think, for prosperity and, you know, like wealth and money. I need to triple check that one, but I know the last time I read that, you know, like online, it was supposed to be, you know, for prosperity, you know, promoting the country. And then I'm trying to remember what black was for. I don't remember what black was for. I don't even want to take a guess because it might be wrong, but
I mean, we looked it up, but what was we have our fact checker here.
Oh, yeah.
My lovely assistant,
Carla. Teach me something.
The Jamaican flag meaning can be interpreted concisely and poetically as the sun is shining, the land is green, and the people are strong and creative. In other words, the colors of Jamaican flag stands for the sun, which is gold, the land green, and the people black.
So
Oh, they are black. Yeah.
Yeah. When they said the people, I thought they were going to just straight up say there's black people.
Well, let me refine
Straight to the
that,
point.
though.
All right.
It is what it is. Yeah.
We'll fact check the Wikipedia. I guess.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess jokes aside, it is the demographic is predominantly black, but our main motto is out of many, one people. And so although Jamaica, the original people, you know, were the people, you know, Carribean. And when the British came over to populate the area, take over, you know, do all the plantations and stuff, they brought a lot of African people, wiped out a good chunk of the majority of the race there. But history lesson aside, there are a lot of other people there too, like Indian Jamaicans, there's Chinese Jamaicans, there's also British Jamaicans too, which is really ironic to see, you know, like a fair complected person, or what you might say as a white person, speaking Jamaican. Yeah. It's very fast. Even for me, it's just like, whoa, this is wild.
I've seen selectors or DJs, they call them selectors over there, that are, white, British. They live over there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's incredible. And it's a beautiful, like, mix too. I've seen all types of Jamaicans in America too.
Yeah.
Same thing is happening in DR, and this goes back to like America being some sort of example for the rest of the world. It used to be, this is Jamaicans, and we would come to America to here we would mix, but no, now we're mixing in our countries.
Exactly.
Would you say historically Jamaica has always been a welcoming country and a lot of mixing going on?
Yeah, there definitely was a lot of mixing going on, especially with a lot of the British lords and people who would come over, you know, to own the slaves. You know, they had lots of, you know, relations with a lot of the people there. And so that's how, like, a lot of people are born, I guess, like, mixed and, you know, carry on, like, lots of English names. You know, like my Jamaican family's last name is Mulgrave. And so that actually comes from the UK, from Lord Mulgrave, who was one of the guys that came on a ship to Jamaica, had many, you know, wives, or I don't even know if they were wives. He just had many baby mamas, and then had a lot of people. So that's kind of just where that comes from. But yeah, and you know, funny, like we were mentioning the color. Over there, people don't have like, oh, you know, are you African American? Are you, you know, Asian, Pacific Islander, this, that, you know, are you Jamaican? That's it. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't judge or discriminate based on, you know, like color or anything like that. And so I know I think my mom and, you know, some other family friends that come up, they're just like, oh yeah, you know, I didn't know what to put whenever I was filling out documentations or, you know, like visa and green card applications. They see what's called here, what's your race and ethnicity. It's just like, I don't know what I register as. Right. And so, I mean, I hope they put black because that's technically what they are, but that's just something that they don't have over there, you know? So, yeah.
That's interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When, just curious, when is you guys election day? Like, do you know, like what day of the week?
Oh, I actually don't know. I should know for us it's like November, right?
Yeah, so, ours is on a Tuesday, and it's not a holiday, and I just think that's like really dumb. Yeah, and I heard a lot of other countries will do it on a weekend, or like at least give it like the day off, so you
sense.
Can, yeah,
a nice excuse for a day off.
Oh yeah, yeah. And also, I think in like DR, there's like a very strict law on you can't drink before you vote.
Really?
I don't know why that's like a big deal.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
They put like commercials of it. It's like, hey, no beba antes de votar. I'm like,
oh, okay.
Like what? Like
pero después, si se puede.
Right. That's super funny.
Afterwards, you can do whatever.
Do they like breathalyze you on the way into the voting machine?
Right, like blow real quick.
Yeah, right.
That's another thing that in DR, I do remember seeing cops by the ballots.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, there's officers by the ballots. Okay. So I've never seen that here. I see, you know, the librarian, you know, Jane or whatever.
Yeah. Don't drink and vote. Don't drink and vote.
Don't drink and vote. Right. You know, she'd tell me don't drink to vote. You know what I mean? But
I mean, hey, that's priority before drinking and driving, right? Like, literally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm curious about your shirt. What is it? Turned down?
Oh, yeah. What? Turned down for what? So...
And it's like it's like an Indian building, or
so it's a temple actually out in Cambodia.
Oh, Cambodian.
Yeah. So it's called Angkor Wat. I believe it used to be the capital of Cambodia a long time ago, back many ages ago. This was actually a gift brought to me by one of your coworkers.
My coworker.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I can say her name online.
Oh,
but
you don't have to say.
I know who it
else.
is.
Yeah. So she went to Cambodia as part of a humanitarian effort, kind of like what I do for Jamaica. But she went over to Cambodia for building a little library, a school or library for like the community and little kids. This trip that she took, they went to, I guess, just bless the building, or what's the thing? Inaugurate the building, or however you say for the building.
Yeah, inaugurate.
Yeah, and then they put in books and everything. They had a whole, the whole town came together to celebrate it and, just recognize this was going on. And it was her and a few other people from America that came over to go and do that. They hauled a whole bunch of books and everything through all kinds of jungle and tough terrain and everything to make it happen. And the long and short of it, I donated a little thing to it, and so that's why she came back and she's like, "Oh, I have something for you." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then she came back and gave me the shirt.
I feel like a horrible person.
I know. I feel like I'm not doing anything for the world now.
My whole life, all I say to myself is, "Hey, just do good to other people."
But I mean, but did y'all know that was going on?
Trying, dude.
I didn't know. Yeah, this is,
I mean, if you knew, I'm sure you guys would have
You are
put
going
something
to heaven, man. This is like you're getting your ticket punched in, and but it's contagious. And you know what?
Thank you.
You've inspired me to do something.
Okay.
I know Carla, when we first met, she one of our first dates was like to go down to Tijuana and take down some clothes over there.
Oh, nice.
So, and I hope that the viewers also inspired, because I'm very inspired to go do something, man. I don't know what it's gonna be.
I think ACT will be our first advertiser on the pod. We'll just have a little
that
segment, and we'll be like, "Hey, just to let you know about our sponsor."
Yeah,
ACT, with an exclamation point.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, no, that's
It's not
awesome.
the test.
Yeah, exactly. Like have some sort of slogan that differentiates it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, really, and just how we started ACT too, it was just like you just find something or somewhere that has a problem, and what's your solution to solve it. So there's problems even here, in Portland, like the homelessness, things like that. So it's just you just pick something and then just go with it and just put your all into it. So yeah,
That's right.
That's very inspiring.
Very
Inspiring words.
You have to move forward, man. Progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got any other questions left?
You have answered all my questions, because as you're a very good explainer. Is that the word? There has to be a word for an explainer, but you're a very good explainer.
Well, thank you.
Because I asked you one question and you answer everything that I was gonna related to it, the history, the background of it.
Okay.
I'll
take it.
I appreciate you, man.
Are there any laws that exist in Jamaica that you wish were different or would change?
That is an interesting one. I don't know. Ooh, I don't know.
Like in America, we have some people that are like, very offended by certain laws or want certain things changed that we legalize. Mm-hmm. Is marijuana legal in Jamaica?
So actually, it's not. From the last I checked,
That's crazy.
It's funny. But so technically, it's not legal from what I know. Right. But people still do. It's nothing that's ever enforced. There's police, there's JDF, which is Jamaican Defense Force, and everyone, that's like the military driving through whatever. They're probably smoking a blunt too, at that point. And it's just part of, I guess, just the everyday culture that they do there. I personally don't smoke weed or anything like that, but everyone there, is just like doing their own thing. And it's funny because some of the times I'll go to bed at night, we don't have the AC, so we leave the windows open,
right.
With the security bars on it, of course. And literally some of the times, like you'll go to sleep and it's just like you just have this whiff of just marijuana come through your room. I'm like, dang, but yeah, so it's not, so it's technically not legal from the last I checked, but it is definitely not enforced. And, just like the little cartoons that you see of, people with the little blunt off the side, that's literally how people are. They'll literally have the same one that they just keep on relighting or just sucking on or whatever the whole day. And it's like, dude, that's not even like lit. What are you getting out of that? But
it's for the look, man. It's for the look.
But I will say, like regardless where everyone stands on, like drugs and everything like that, or, controlled substances, I guess what you call them here. It does put a lot of people at ease over there, and so there's less like, not to promote it or anything, but there is like a lot less like tension, a lot less.
Promote it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I promote it, but it is something that I noticed differently about the culture over there is that, you know, everyone is just a lot more, it really hems in on that island time. Like, everyone is just so like laid back, chill, you know, so that's just one of the things I noticed there too.
A lot of people that smoke will say, oh man, if you can give this to the dude from Israel and the dude from Palestine, that'd be cool. And there's some truth to that. I mean, it's not 100% true, but there's some truth to. And the other day, actually, on the Columbia podcast, when I was asking you, you were saying, oh, they're very happy people, and you said, I wonder how they measured that because they had done a study, and I said an amount of weed smoked. And I think you just
it could be.
You just kind of said the similar thing. Take it.
Oh boy! All right. I guess the only other thing we were thinking of, like, is if there was like a perfect world or like a utopia or something like that, from a Jamaican perspective, what do you think that would look like? I guess like day to day, would the perfect life be? I guess kind of like relaxed and whatever.
Are you saying for like a country as a whole, or
I guess just like maybe how would Jamaican would like see that? I guess.
I mean, there's technically two sides. There's the traditional side that, you know, wants to see the island just stay as it is and, you know, live in just the past, which is kind of when I go back to my grandparents, that's what I see. Even though now everyone has, you know, cell phones and Wi-Fi and things like that. And then the other more progressive Jamaicans, I guess the more well-off ones will go and say, hey, you know, we want to see more infrastructure, like the toll roads and stuff like that, more resorts, which they're building up a ton of resorts over there because everyone goes to Jamaica. Just a lot more built up to help promote the island and to bring the island out of, you know, like archaic times into more of the present and on into the future. If that does happen, then I think it'll take a very long time for it to happen because there's just two different sides of, you know, how things are perceived over there. And unless if you really get everyone kind of like on the same page or promoted in a certain way where the government or somebody can go and like bring up the have-nots to kind of just make it a little bit more of an even playing field with the haves, then they would probably be able to make more progress doing that.
Find a compromise.
Yeah. Try not to get all political, but, you know, like there's a lot of people that just really want to live in the past, keep Jamaica as a traditional Jamaica, like the OG back in the day. And I mean, some places are able to keep that and other places are like, no, we're moving forward. So, yeah.
Leaving people behind.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess a perfect world for Jamaica would be to, I guess, for those people that want to see more construction, like just have the island boom, boost the economy, things like that, then that's great, you know. I like to see it from the old perspective, just, you know, before a lot of this boom started to happen, you know, back in the day where it was like the original Jamaica, you know, where you go, there's no worries, you know, like literally that's one of the mottos there. And just not having to stress. Right, exactly. Hakuna Matata, right? Back to those Timon and Pumbaa days, man. Oh, that takes me way back. Yeah. Oh my God, I love them. But yeah, you know, so it just depends on kind of just where you're at. Because I like the old traditional, you know, like where you have to pay for cash for everything. This was my first time actually going where I never exchanged any money. What? I literally used the phone and did the tap thing, which blew some people's minds. They're like, oh my God, you can tap your phone on a credit card terminal. First off, they have credit card terminals now. Yeah. So that's great. You know, you can swipe and do all that stuff. And then the tap thing was just, it blew this one girl's mind at a gas station.
Future man over here.
Like low key. So it's just things like that where it's just like some people are still behind. But, you know, there's a lot of potential that can be done in Jamaica if things kind of just get straightened up a little bit.
I guess I do have one more question based on like the utopia that you dream of.
Yeah.
And this is it's going to change eventually, maybe. But where do you see yourself living when you retire?
That's a good question. I used to always want to live in Jamaica, but my only concern really going back there is just the crime. It's gotten pretty bad over the years. I mean, even to one point, the last time I went back, I mean, there's security checkpoints and everything. Once you like leave certain states and go into the other states, and
Oh yeah.
it was getting really bad. I actually want to say Jamaica is one of the top 3. I need to triple check the statistics, but it's one of the top 3 bloodiest countries in the world per capita. So, you know, it's just like, I guess for the population of how many people there are, it's like actually just very like just crime ridden, deadly, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got to keep the bar on the windows. Bars
Yeah.
on the window.
No, so yeah, and for example, like, not to get too gruesome, but we used to have a taxi driver, you know, like, who used to be a pretty good friend of the family and everything. He apparently was driving his taxi, you know, just earning an honest income and everything like that, and somebody came and held him up, you know, in his car. Okay. They stole his car and everything, but before they left, they told him to, you know, go walk into, I guess, one of those like little rivers or ponds, you know, like that had alligators and stuff in it or whatnot. And they shot him in the head and everything. Yeah. And so shot him, of course, and thought, okay, you know, he's dead. He actually didn't die. Wow. And so he got rushed to the local hospital and everything, survived the gunshot wound. I think they were able to remove the bullet from his head and everything. It was doing great, and then ended up dying of like a blood clot a few days later.
Oh, dang,
and so it's just like things like that, you know, it's just shoot, you know, like that was the driver that used to take us places, you know. It's so that kind of just settles in, you know, differently, you know, whenever you realize that.
That's not good. I do remember 2 movies from Jamaica. Cool Runnings. The other one is Top Shotas.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's with Stephen Marley.
Okay.
It's, and it's about that. It's about crime in Jamaica and how like people just shoot each other up, you know, or like weed and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's another reason why I think maybe Jamaica and all countries should move to legalization, because once you legalize it, you regulate it. Now guns are out of the picture. They may still be in the picture for a little bit because you're gonna have people trying to rob you, trying to start their own business and stuff. But with regulation, that stuff is mostly dissipated.
And I think that kind of brings up 2 different topics too, because legalizing is one thing, and I guess decriminalizing is another thing too. So I guess that's kind of part of the topic too, of like, okay, well, what is what? Because I hear like here it's decriminalized in certain places, but not legalized. I don't think it's legal in any state per se, right?
We have like recreationally legal states. So like
recreational, but
so we have you have like prohibited, which is you can get arrested for possession. It's illegal, highly illegal. And then decriminalized, which is it's not legal to sell it or anything, but you can't go to jail for possession.
Right.
So it would just be like a fine.
Yeah.
And then there's recreationally legal, where like adults over 21 can just, it's like alcohol, you know, you can use it. So
see, you're an open dictionary, you know. And I guess here in Oregon, I was just told that everything was legal here. Right. So I was just like, that's what I heard.
So it's pretty much completely legalized here.
That is crazy.
Peace and love, baby.
Yeah.
Keep pouring weed.
It's weird, all right. I'll tell you.
It is strange.
I mean, is it true? Like, it might be off topic, but is it true that there's like actual shoot up centers where you can just, you know, like safely
they're called harm reduction centers. Yeah. I think Portland has those. It's interesting.
But it's not that extreme thing like they say, is it?
No, not really.
It's just supposed to be like a safe spot where you can go to.
Yeah, it's a spot because like a lot of heroin addicts, a common problem is that they use needles or share needles, which spreads HIV, causes a lot of like problems. So some places have built harm reduction centers so that people can like use responsibly. No one's ever OD'd in one. And like they don't have that spreading of diseases. But then some people see it as like condoning drug use. It's a controversial issue, but I mean,
2 sides of the fence, really.
Yeah, because I mean, some people would argue these people are so addicted that there will like some people could even die from withdrawals. So like to just like pretend like they can't just stop, it's just kind of
And I thought that was kind of like the point of having those was, I guess, for, you know, safer drug use for those who are already addicted and kind of figuring that side out. But then also too, imagine if you were, you know, like you're a dad, right? So if you're walking down the street or bringing your child to school, you don't want your kid to, you know, hit a heroin needle.
Yes.
With God knows who many people, you know, shared it.
Very good, yeah.
You know, and so I guess that's why they tried to consolidate it into those places so that you kind of keep that away from just the regular general public, you know.
Right. Keep it regulated and not regulated, but keep it monitored. You know what I mean? Sometimes this is an unsafe thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
When people do unsafe things on YouTube, it's like everyone's talking bad about them. But now you see a guy on the street shooting up. What are you gonna say? That's where you're supposed to do it. Keep it in the street. No, man, it's a good thing that we're like keeping people safe, making sure more people live and have a chance to decide whether this is something they want to do for the rest of their life or not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think they really have a choice.
No, yeah.
Like that stuff is real addicting.
You
so
have to stop at some point, or it's gonna take
or you're just gonna die.
Yeah, it's gonna
Like
take
literally.
Yeah. Hopefully they can wean them off of it. Yeah. But like with the opioid epidemic and stuff, it's like pretty common now. It's really sad.
And
but
that's the crazy thing, because drugs used to be, I think it's still a problem like in Jamaica per se, but now a lot of that crime, like we were mentioning, had transitioned, I guess, from more of the drug side, and now it's gotten into cybercrime and stuff like that. So whenever you answer the phone or whenever one of those calls come in, you've all been called by a Jamaican, believe it or not. And it's funny, I just saw this on a TV show. I forgot what the lady's name was, but her very first episode was on cybercrimes and things like that. And the two biggest countries that do it, which took me by surprise, of course, is Jamaica and Israel.
Oh
really?
Yes.
Wow, I would have thought
Literally,
India.
it was the
That's what I was
wildest.
thinking.
Yeah, no, it's Jamaica and Israel. At least according to that TV show.
Wow.
And it was just crazy because I was like, as many times I've been to Jamaica a dozen times, and I would have never thought. But when he answered the phone, Jamaicans are very good at like, I love my Jamaican people, but they're very good at manipulating how they sound on the phone.
I was just gonna say that.
So,
if I've been called by a Jamaican, I didn't know it because they didn't sound Jamaican.
So they perfect a very clear American accent or just a very clear English type of accent. So it's just like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And it's funny because, or not funny, but ironic, because on the TV show, it was literally showing people, they were videotaping, like literally one of the ladies calling and scamming one of the guys out of his money or this or that, or a ring or a car, or you've won, this, and literally, please pay, like $1,000 for your first installment. They catch people every day, every hour, every minute at these call centers in Jamaica.
And do you know who Miss Cleo is? Mm-mm. Oh, you don't know Miss Cleo? All right.
No.
Well, Miss Cleo.
But educate me.
Damn, my bad. Miss Cleo was does anybody know? I'm the only one. Man, I feel.
Do you know Miss Cleo?
So
Okay, so I'm not alone.
I don't know what's going on here.
Miss Cleo was a very famous Jamaican future teller. What do you call it?
Oh, fortune teller?
Fortune teller, yeah.
Okay.
Future teller. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, I stay far away from that. Yeah.
So she was a very famous Jamaican fortune teller, and she was all like, "Call me now," like really stereotypical.
Sounds about right.
Oh, Jamaica, like, you know what I mean? She wouldn't say that, and then it turns out she was faking her accent the whole time.
What?
Yes. So she was fake. She was really Jamaican.
Okay.
But when she talked out in the street, she'd be like, "Yo, what's good? Hey, walk your dog." I mean, maybe she didn't talk like that. But, hey, get a newspaper, get some coffee.
Yeah.
I'm Miss Cleo. Call 1-800. No. But yeah, like out in the street, she like talked normal, and then for her show, put her little thing on. Look at it. Hey, Jamaica.
Oh my God.
Come and tell you the future. So I was just relating both things. I don't know if it was like.
Interesting.
I was wondering, maybe it's Miss Cleo running an operation down in Jamaica. She said, "Damn, they caught me in America, and I'm gonna take it to my people.
Right.
The talent we have." I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally believe it though, because they are the masters of just getting through to especially American people.
Yeah.
So I guess we're the easiest to fool or something. I don't know, but it's as much money that they make off of scamming Americans. It's amazing.
Incredible.
Yes, millions of dollars. Yeah.
Did you say billions?
Millions. It might be billions, but I mean, I know for sure it's millions, because they are able to scam people out of, like, even on that interview I was talking about on the TV show, the lady was just saying, "Hey, I can't help it, but they are just literally just giving me their money."
Oh, wow.
And they keep on trying to, lead them on to say, "Oh yeah, just another installment, and send me this and send me that." And then she ended up saying like, "Oh yeah, one guy ended up sending his wedding ring."
What?
Literally. Or or they'll go and tease them a little bit and send like a car key, to the Mercedes that they just won and everything like that. And then at least that kind of like is the little fish bait to go and say like, "Okay, hey, this is real." Give them some hope to go and say, "Oh yeah, I'm actually winning something here." I could have probably just as easily fallen for something like that too.
Of
you
course.
know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say, like, oh, people are just stupid. Like, I've fallen for something too before and gotten money taken away accidentally, So it's just like, hey, nobody's perfect and you have to be super careful who you're, trusting for certain things, So
people are acting out there, man. I'm telling you. And like one time, what happens from Mexico and like Spanish speaking people, typically is they'll call you, hello, hey, primo, cousin, how are you, my friend? And they're like, cousin? Oh, how do you not remember me? Come on, man, you don't remember me, cousin? And then they try to get info out of you.
Yeah.
And then
they
try to land on like maybe an older gentleman or an older, oh, is my cousin, which one? Jose? Is that you? Yeah, it's Jose.
Yeah.
Jose, it's me. Yeah, I'm over here in the house. Oh, you're at the Aunt Maria's house? Yeah, Aunt Maria. Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, what was that street that you used to live on again? Like, literally, it's just things like that where once they kind of get you with one thing, then it just opens up Pandora's box, literally, because then they're able to just get you. And that's the sad thing because they really try, and I guess people who do this in Mexico too, target older people who just don't know any better, who are not used to using phones and things like that, and then getting these phone calls, and then it's like, okay, well, their whole retirement is gone.
Just time to retire.
Exactly.
Time to retire, man.
That's the thing. So I'm just
Very
like,
sad.
it's kind of sad, but yeah, Jamaica is one of the biggest countries for scamming.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So let's switch it up. Is there a happy note you want to?
Oh yeah, no, like.
What's your favorite thing? Single favorite thing about Jamaica?
Yes.
So, man, there's a lot of stuff I love about Jamaica.
Top 3. I know it's hard sometimes to pick a favorite.
Just food. Things being different, driving on the left side of the road is just bewildering to me.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
didn't know that.
drive
Either.
on the left side of the road.
Huh.
I want to say actually, we're one of the only countries in the Western Hemisphere that drives on the left side of the road.
Huh.
You guys drive on the right.
Right.
And then, Jamaica drives on the left side. And I think some of the lesser Leeward Islands off towards like the Eastern Caribbean drive on the left side. Trinidad, for example.
It's because if you were a British colony, the British did it because you held the spear on your right hand
When you're jousting.
side when you're
I
jousting.
just learned that this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you were a British colony, that's what. But we are so rebel that we were like, nah, man, we do our own thing.
Right.
Give me the SAE standard system.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But
Switch sides.
in the UK, don't they drive on the left side?
They do.
Yeah.
So the colonies, they forced them to drive on the right, but then
No, they drive on the left. Everyone British colony drives on the left, and Jamaica.
Yeah, because when the British took
Gotcha.
over, they drove how they drove back home, and so then that's kind of how the culture got spread to these islands.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, America, for example, was a British colony. America is rebellious, so I guess that's part of that.
Yeah.
Canada used to be a British colony, right?
Yeah.
To some extent. And then everywhere else, pretty much
Yeah.
half the world.
Yeah.
Everybody.
South America's all right side driving too.
Yeah.
Brazil, Colombia,
Yeah.
even Peru.
Just about, like, literally. I mean, there's only 2 different sides you can drive on.
I know, really.
Yeah.
No, we drive the sky.
Literally, well, funny enough, like in Jamaica, they really don't care what side of the road because then they'll overtake you, they'll undertake you, they'll literally, if they could, they'd hop right over you on the road if they could. It's a madhouse whenever you're driving over there.
Driving around, there's just people everywhere, up and down.
I don't drive there personally.
Are there a lot of tunnels in Jamaica?
Tunnels? No. They do cut through the mountains to build like these roads and stuff, but it's really just like they blast off the sides and you're just driving like through them, but you're not like actually going through tunnels for the most part. So, yeah, I don't know if I would trust a Jamaican tunnel.
Nah. Well,
except that the Chinese built it.
I guess, you can trust a Chinese tunnel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that like on a race thing, it's not even that, but I mean, the Chinese were like brought to Jamaica to build the roads and stuff. And it's funny because you would think like, the first time I saw that on the toll roads, I was like, wait, there's a toll road, first of all. And then when you're driving on the toll road or riding on the toll road, you see all the China flags. And I'm like, oh, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought I was just randomly in the mountains of like Beijing or something like that. Like you would have never known.
Crazy.
So, yeah, China literally taking over.
Yeah, they built stuff. They built our railroads.
Yeah.
I think they're also doing a lot of digging in Nigeria.
Oh, really?
Oil, they
I believe
all
it.
the roads over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of oil in Nigeria. So those are beautiful things about Jamaica.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a great note to leave off on.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much for coming out here, sharing things about your country.
Thank y'all for having me.
It was very interesting to learn about.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You are like the yellow in the flag of the Jamaican flag.
Across everything all together.
Yes. You are one of the coolest people that I've met here since I moved
thank
here. And I wish you nothing but the best, man. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me. It was great.
No problem.